Have you ever wondered why you keep finding yourself in the same painful, one-sided relationships over and over again? It is an exhausting cycle of giving everything you have to people who only seem to take from you. You offer your heart, your time, and your energy, yet you are left feeling completely invisible and profoundly unappreciated. This isn't just bad luck or a series of unfortunate accidents. It is a deep psychological pattern worth exploring. Meet Liam, a man with a heart of gold who constantly feels like he is failing everyone around him. Liam is the person who stays late to help a friend, even when his own life is falling apart. He listens to hours of other people's problems, but finds that no one ever asks him how he is doing. To the world, Liam is a saint, but to himself, he feels like a ghost haunting his own empty life. The truth is that Liam is subconsciously attracted to people who don't value him because familiarity feels like safety. We don't necessarily choose the people who make us happy, we choose the people who feel like home. But for Liam, and perhaps for you, home was a place where love was conditional and very hard to find. If you grew up in a house where you had to perform to be noticed, you learned a dangerous lesson. You learned that your only value lies in what you can provide for others, not in who you are. This is called the self-sacrifice schema, a belief that your needs are a burden to those you love. You become a people pleaser as a survival tactic, hoping that if you are perfect, you won't be abandoned. But by being perfect, you accidentally teach people that it is okay to overlook your feelings and your boundaries. You attract takers because you have forgotten how to say no without feeling a crushing weight of guilt. A taker sees your lack of boundaries as an open invitation to use your light to warm their own soul. They aren't looking for a partner, they're looking for a mirror that only reflects their own greatness back. And because you are so hungry for even a tiny crumb of validation, you stay much longer than you should. You tell yourself that if you just love them a little harder, they will finally see your true worth. You believe that you can fix them, but in reality, you are only breaking yourself into smaller, sharper pieces. This is called the savior complex, where you try to heal others to avoid facing the hollowness inside your own chest. You focus on their potential rather than their reality, falling in love with a version of them that doesn't exist. Meanwhile, the real person in front of you is consistently proving that they cannot or will not value you. Every time they ignore your text or dismiss your feelings, a small part of your spirit quietly withers away. You start to believe their silence is your fault, and you work even harder to win back their cold attention. But you cannot convince someone to value you if they don't already see the light shining within you. Value is not something you earn through labor, it is something you possess simply by existing as a human. Liam spends his nights staring at his phone, waiting for a sign that he actually matters to someone else. He feels like a beggar in his own relationships, grateful for the bare minimum of kindness and basic human respect. The tragedy of Liam's life is that he is so busy saving others that he has completely forgotten to save himself. He treats himself like a secondary character in a movie where everyone else gets to play the hero's role. But there is a way to break this cycle and finally step out of the shadows of being undervalued. It begins with the radical and uncomfortable act of realizing that you are actually worthy of being loved. Healing starts when Liam understands that his generosity is often a mask for his deep fear of being rejected. He must learn to sit with the silence that follows when he stops over-functioning for everyone else's benefit. When you stop chasing people who don't want to be caught, you finally create space for those who do. Boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out. They are gates that allow the right people in. Saying, "I cannot do this for you right now," is an act of deep self-love and essential psychological health. Liam needs to grieve for the child who was told that his feelings didn't matter as much as others. He needs to go back and tell that little boy that he was always enough, even when he was doing nothing. True intimacy is a two-way street where both people feel seen, heard, and consistently protected by the other. It is not your job to be a rehab center for people who are not ready to do their own inner work. Imagine Liam standing in front of a mirror, finally looking into his own eyes with kindness and genuine warmth. He sees the lines of exhaustion, but he also sees a resilient soul that has survived so much neglect. He decides for the first time in his life to prioritize his own peace over someone else's chaotic demands. This is the moment Liam stops being a fixer and starts becoming a whole, independent human being again. You will lose people when you start setting boundaries, but those are the people you were meant to lose. The people who truly value you will respect your no as much as they cherish your enthusiastic yes. Every time Liam chooses himself, his internal fortress of self-worth grows one more solid golden stone higher. He discovers that he doesn't have to be useful to be wanted. He just has to be authentically himself. You are allowed to have standards, to have needs, and to expect the same effort you put into others. Your heart is a sacred temple, not a doormat for those who refuse to take off their muddy shoes. If you keep attracting people who don't value you, it is time to change the frequency you are broadcasting. Stop being the available one for those who are only available when they need something from you. The path to a healthy relationship begins with the healthy relationship you build with your own wounded soul. You are safe now, and you no longer have to work so hard to prove that you deserve to exist. Take a deep breath, look at your own hands, and realize they are meant for more than just carrying others. I'm Leo, and I hope this note reminds you that your value is non-negotiable. Goodbye for now.